is it a test of what to come in 2027? The new coalition party, the ADC, says no, it's not. I mean, this by-elections, is not a test of its strength.
In some states, like, for example, the Senate, maybe one or two House of Assembly seats in Anambra, the same thing. So this is not really big enough to say this is, and 2027 is still far off. But in many ways, it's also a test, a foretest of what we might see. First, back to 23, the opposition is crying foul, blue murder, allegation of malpractices everywhere. We saw reports about vote buying. This has been a problem, has remained a problem. So for me, first, it tells us that, are we going to see anything different in 2027? My optimism is almost gone.
Is dim?
Gone almost, except two things happen, and I'm not seeing them happening. I'm not seeing opposition and ruling party take seriously the issue of electoral reform, not just about changing laws, changing behavior, getting the people to rise up, mobilizing a change of behavior. I mean, allegations are getting on both sides, whether it's ruling party, opposition party.
Some school of thought believe that, look, the people are even too impoverished to,
That's the point. So the people are, in fact, they read the nice election buying of votes, and it's so transparent that it's now, you look back, it said, basically, Nigeria doesn't have democracy, so to say. I mean, Vendem, the leading authority in democracy assessment and rating, said Nigeria is now electoral autocracy. So you hold election, but that election lacks all the fundamentals of democratic election. And the second thing that we are seeing is also that it looks like perhaps the opposition party needs to do more work, especially the coalition, the ADC, beyond social media. They also need to, if there's a structure of criminality, as they allege, deal with it. I mean, why can't we really have them recontest? Since 23, I've not seen any serious voice of either Atiku or B or Erufo or anybody actually mobilizing for electoral reform. That's the missing link. And I'm saying it, Abuja School has done this, as press conference every time. We say electoral reform is critical for three things. One, this is a polarized country. This is a country that's unstable in many ways. So election, even if democracy does not translate to development directly, it gives legitimacy. It creates a sense of legitimacy of change of government. What I'm also afraid that 2027, with what happened today, the opposition will be less inclined to civil approach to power and more inclined to build up some kind of military support, violence. And so looking at I'll predict three things that, except things change drastically, 2027 election is going to be as flawed as 2023, 27. Two, we're going to see more militarization. People are going to say, okay, fait accompli. Governors will win their base, okay? They're going to buy the whole votes, they're going to mobilize. INEC will, as usual, play dead brain or complicit. What do? We have to fight at the pro. So we might be going into more violence as we go into this election, and the outcome will be one that will be able to mobilize the country. The level of development we need in this country requires elections that are very credible, so that once candidates emerge, we all rally around. Because with the way we're going, in 100 years, we're not going to get to what Korea, China, East Asians did in, let's say, a couple of decades. We can never get there. The politics is terrible, and it destroys governance. So for me, this election shows clear that the ruling parties still have the edge, because they control, ATC will say, because they control the machinery of power. They control the institutions that determine outcome. They have access to funds. Again, subtext here. We're going to be seeing a lot of money stolen and stowed away for fighting funds across the country. So
that's during 2020.
Exactly. So if the answer is buying votes, then there will be a real open market for votes.
So you know how the 2023 election was rigged? 2027 will be worse. The Edo off-cycle election that happened in 2024 was a template of what was going to happen in 2027. And every off-cycle election that's happened, every by-election has happened, has actually mirrored exactly what happened in Edo State. And don't expect to have anything different to that in 2027. 2027 election will be about a lot of vote buying, will be with a lot of violence, a lot of rigging, an open brazenness of INEC, rigging the election on behalf of the current administration, and they won't care. They've already shown it. There are no consequences. When you have a INEC chairman who conducted the worst election in our country and is still the INEC chairman, then there's problem. But it benefits the people who are in power, so they will leave him there for that moment, and he will be there. It doesn't matter who comes in; they will be there. 2027 will be more flawed than 2023. Like I said, INEC will be an open accomplice in the criminality of our democratic system. That's why Sam Amadi said that Nigeria is not a democracy. The perception of Nigeria right now is that Nigeria is not a democracy. You saw the other day that the Canadian court, in a bid to not to give somebody asylum, said Nigeria's ruling parties, the PDP and the APC, are terrorist organization. The perception index of Nigeria, our democratic perception index, is one that is now showing that we'll become an electoral autocracy where the current administration is deemed to and must deem to be winning the election whenever it happens. Why? Because the vote of the people does not count. They rig the election and they're so brazen, and that's why they're constantly looking for legitimization. You've seen the last 2 3 years, Bola, 2 years since Bola Tinubu has been in power since 2023. He's been looking for legitimization everywhere. Businesses are leaving the country because they can see that the criminality of this government, the fact that they know that the government did not win the election, the fact that they know that the government stole the election, the administration stole the election, and they used that with the help of INEC, and they've now legitimized it with the help of the judiciary. What else do you expect? They will leave. And that's why they cannot create jobs. That's why they're putting more people in poverty. Now, listen, you've also heard that it is often said that poverty has now been weaponized, especially in the rural areas. That's why it's easy for them to buy votes. Remember, your senators, your lawmakers, they go to their constituencies. Their constituencies are the villages. If you live in the urban areas, you'll feel that's the same way it should be like that. But no, the villages are the same thing too. And that's the most impoverished places. So it's our job to keep talking and maybe keep, clamoring to have the right people. But when they're so impoverished, they can't feed, they can't go to their farms. The people who could literally go to their farms and farm and raise money cannot do that anymore. Why do you think that the politicians are not ordering on, fixing the issues with terrorism? They're not. Why? Because they need the people to be poor so that they can continue to buy their votes and steal from them. So again, 2027 will be very mad. It will be very flawed. And it will be a lot of vote buy. It will be a lot of rigging. It will be a lot of political violence, militarization of our electoral system, where the opposition would have to find their own power to muscle their way through to make sure the election is not rigged. But ultimately, the one who finally releases the results is the one who's backing the ruling party. So people are impoverished, and they have no other choice but to sell their votes. And I tell you this, as we approach 2026 into 2027, monies will be scarce. Nigeria will be harder because they've already started stealing the money, piling the money aside. You see what they did in 2023? They piled the money aside in order to rig and steal election. And just like Dr. Sam Amadi mentioned, the kind of development that we want in our country, we will not have it. As long as we have a government like this, an electoral system like this, in the next 100 years, we will not have it. Because we have people who are so determined to be in power, not to work for the people, but to steal from them. If people can still put away money to bribe for election, you think they'll use their own money to now fix the country? They'll recoup their money as an investment for them, it's business for them. And governance is not about business, it's about business for the people, not about business for self. And Nigeria, as we stand right now, is a system where criminals have now found themselves in the place of authority. This current government, like I said earlier, is currently looking for, and it's been looking for legitimization all along. That's why it jumps everywhere. Now it's in Brazil, going to Japan and Brazil. After that, it will go to France to go get treated again and come back to Nigeria. It's exactly the same script. Nigeria is in the hands of the wrong people. And I feel sorry for especially those Bola Tinubu supporters. I know you have a right to support whoever you want to support, but ask yourself, is your life better off since Tinubu became president? Is the life of your loved ones, your friends, better off since Tinubu became president? If the answer is yes, then good for you. But if you look at the majority of Nigerians, the answer is no. Nigerians are suffering. This government has not accomplished anything, not one thing in its mandate. And they're constantly tweaking figures just to show total and tell the world, oh, we're moving, looking for good figures to portray. The people are suffering. You're showing us some figures that doesn't, relate to what the people want. Nigeria is in the hands of the wrong people. That's why I'm talking to you right now. So it's our job, like I said, to keep talking about it, making sure we sensitize others, but let Nigerians know if when you collect that 1,000 naira, 2,000, 3,000, or 10,000 they give you, they will not develop your village. They will not develop your community. You've sold your votes. It's as simple as that. And they would have to recoup their money back. It's an investment for them. They're not leaders, they're politicians, they're criminals. And you and I have to make sure we speak up. So put your comments in the comment section. Let us know what you think about what Sam Amadi said. Do you agree with him? What do you think about 2027? As always, please don't forget to like, share. Please subscribe if you've not done so. And recommend this channel to others. I will catch you in the next video. God bless you. Bye bye for now.